My beloved child, take a moment and open your heart to my voice, for I am gently calling you toward a place of peace, encouragement, and hope that transcends every shadow lurking in your mind. I have never left you unattended, not even for a single heartbeat, and I will not begin to neglect you now. When I fashioned you, I placed within you a light that grows brighter in every season, even when the nights of life seem unending. So do not be dismayed by the troubles you faced or the uncertainty that tries to shake your confidence, because I am your unfailing compass, guiding you step by step, and I will forever be by your side. Trust in my promises and allow these words to breathe fresh courage into your soul, for I have prepared a beautiful future for you. I see the yearnings in your spirit, the silent questions that stir late at night, and I hear the whisper of your soul as it asks, "Am I truly seen and valued?" My answer is a resounding yes, for you are a precious tapestry of my handiwork, and each thread of your being has been carefully chosen for a glorious purpose. I rejoice over every aspect of who you are, your laughter, your tears, your triumphs, and even your stumbles. You carry my imprint in your very existence, reminding the world that you are not an accident but a marvel of divine love. Place your hand over your heart and feel that steady beat. Know that I sustain your life and have assigned you a role that only you can fulfill and no one else can replicate. When doubts arise, close your eyes and remember my unwavering declaration. You are never alone, for I am always with you, enveloping you in my infinite love. I want you to envision yourself as a vibrant gem, reflecting the brilliance of my grace wherever you go. Though you may sometimes compare yourself to others and assume you fall short, I ask you to recognize that I made no mistake in shaping your gifts, your character, and your calling. Think of David from the scriptures, who tended sheep in humble fields, yet became a king after my own heart. So too have I placed greatness within you, even if it remains undiscovered to your eyes. Take heart in knowing that your life story, with all its complexities, is an intricate part of my grand design, and each day you walk in faith brings a deeper revelation of your true worth. Let my assurance comfort you in every doubt. You are always in my care, your value is immeasurable, and I watch over your path with steadfast devotion. I understand how despair can creep into your mind, especially when you feel bombarded by challenges that seem to stack higher than the mountains. Sometimes it appears that the night stretches on without promise of dawn, leaving you to question your own endurance. In those moments, recall how many times in Scripture my light pierced the darkness. The Israelites wandering in the desert, seeking a land of promise. The disciples on a storm-tossed sea, frightened for their lives yet rescued by my Son's command. Each story reveals that I intervene when obstacles feel insurmountable, reminding all who trust me that no night can eclipse the sunrise I bring. Do not fear the shadows, for I am your lamp, and I guide you in every uncertain step. Stand firm and remember that I hold you securely, shaping each struggle into a gateway toward triumph. I see the tears you hesitate to show others, the burdens you keep hidden beneath a brave smile, and I gently remind you that your vulnerability is not a weakness in my eyes. When you feel the ache of loneliness, or when worry about your family's future keeps you awake, let my presence soothe your anxious thoughts like a tender lullaby. Even the mightiest oak trees bend before raging winds, yet they do not break because their roots are deeply grounded. So too, I call you to anchor your heart in my promises, for I have declared that nothing can separate you from my love. Whether it's heartbreak over unmet expectations, health concerns that weigh you down, or restless nights filled with questions, I remain the faithful one who never slumbers. I am with you in every breath, wiping away your silent sobs, fortifying you with compassion and the unwavering truth that you are dearly treasured. I know how fatigue can set in when you try to carry too many burdens by yourself, thinking you must solve every dilemma, comfort every soul, and stay strong for everyone else around you. Yet remember, my child, I am your greatest ally, and I designed you not to shoulder every load alone, but to lean on my strength, which knows no limits. In the scriptures, you find stories of people who faltered under the weight of life's trials, like Moses, overwhelmed by the demands of leadership, or Hannah weeping for a child she longed to hold, yet when they turned to me, they found renewed vigor and unshakable hope. This is the promise I extend to you as well. Lay your cares at my feet and trust that I will bear them on your behalf. Release your constant striving, breathe in my peace, and know that I have already mapped out solutions you have not yet imagined. I delight every time you draw near to me in prayer, whether your words are eloquent or faltering. Prayer is a shared conversation that warms my heart, for it displays your willingness to open your soul before me. You do not need elaborate rituals to catch my attention. Simply speak to me as a child speaks to a loving parent, unafraid to admit confusion, sorrow, or even frustration. Remember how Jeremiah cried out about the distress of his nation, or how David poured out his anguish and joy in the Psalms. Both were heard and consoled. Do the same, and watch how I respond in subtle ways, orchestrating coincidences, placing timely encouragement in your path, or stirring your spirit with reassuring peace. Never believe the lie that your prayers go unanswered. I hear every sigh, and in my divine timing, I answer with wisdom that may surpass your immediate understanding. I am your shield, forming a protective barrier around your heart and mind, ensuring that no adversity can truly defeat the essence of who you are. Envision how a mighty fortress stands tall, unyielding against battering storms. That fortress is my love for you. Though the winds of doubt and the floods of disappointment may slam into your life, I stand as an impenetrable stronghold, guaranteeing that you will not be destroyed. In Exodus, I manifested my power by parting the Red Sea, leading my people to safety even when escape seemed impossible. Believe that I can still part seas of hardship in your life and bring forth miraculous deliverance. No matter the challenges swirling around you, keep your hope anchored in me, for I am the God who rescues and redeems with unending mercy. I see that your spirit sometimes grows weary of waiting, longing for clarity or results that you expected long ago. Let me tell you, my sense of timing is perfect, though it may baffle the human mind. When you think your prayers lie forgotten, I am in fact aligning circumstances behind the scenes so that the outcome far surpasses your hopes. Trust that I do not delay to torment you, but to prepare you for blessings greater than you currently imagine. Think of the story of Joseph, who endured long imprisonment before rising to a position where he could save a nation. I often refine your faith in the waiting, teaching you patience, perseverance, and humility. When the doors finally open, you will understand how meticulously I have orchestrated every detail for your ultimate good. I want you to embrace a spirit of gratitude, to look around and see my fingerprints in the mundane events of your daily life. The morning sunrise that gently coaxes you out of slumber, the supportive friend who calls at the perfect time, the unexpected solution that appears when you are at your wit's end. These are not coincidences, but the small ways I manifest my care for you. Like seeds of light scattered throughout your path, these blessings remind you that darkness cannot claim your future. Even in the hardest days, if you pause to notice, you will find reasons to give thanks, thus awakening a deeper awareness of my abiding presence. Open your eyes, and you will behold wonders all around. I cherish the moments when you choose to show kindness, reaching out to those who feel forgotten or unloved. Each compassionate gesture you extend echoes the heart of my kingdom, for my love flourishes when shared selflessly. Even a simple act of noticing someone else's burden can lighten the atmosphere of despair and cultivate hope in places it had withered. Reflect on how my son fed the hungry crowds, healed the sick, and spoke comfort to the lonely. These accounts are not relics of a bygone era, but living examples of how I still work through you today. The world yearns for demonstrations of genuine care, and I have equipped you with empathy and compassion to answer that longing. Keep sowing seeds of love, no matter how small they appear, for I multiply each one in ways that defy human logic. I know that sorrow can pounce unexpectedly, that heartbreak sometimes visits your heart without warning. It may arrive in the form of betrayal, loss, or the aching loneliness that arises when others fail to comprehend the depth of your pain. My dear child, do not resign yourself to the notion that sorrow has the final word, because I am the one who turns mourning into dancing and weeping into laughter. Think of the resurrection morning, when all seemed lost after the crucifixion, yet hope broke forth with triumphant life. That same power remains active to transform every tragedy into a testimony of my unwavering goodness. So do not cling to despair when grief overwhelms you. Hand it over to me. Let your tears be prayers in my presence, and trust that I am weaving a redemptive story that surpasses all you can currently perceive. I see your quiet heroism, those times when you press forward despite fear, doubt, and uncertainty nipping at your heels. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move ahead regardless. In the scriptures, do you recall how Gideon doubted his capacity to lead, labeling himself the least in his family, yet I named him a mighty warrior? Just as I saw beyond Gideon's limitations, I see beyond your anxieties and call you to step forward into realms of faith you once deemed impossible. With me at your side, you can confront any giant, cross any valley, and climb any mountain. Take to heart the knowledge that my presence amplifies your strength, transforming your trembling steps into a triumphant march. I treasure each moment you dedicate to restful solitude, stepping away from the whirlwind of responsibilities and the noise that clamors for your attention. In that stillness, my whisper becomes clearer, a gentle call reminding you that my peace transcends every anxiety. The Gospels recount how my son often withdrew to quiet places, praying through the night to reconnect intimately with me. Follow this example, for rest is not a luxury, but a necessity that replenishes your soul. When you pause to be still, you unshackle your heart from relentless busyness and allow my spirit to renew your perspective, restore your weary mind, and flood your being with my healing presence. In those moments, you will discover that my comforting arms have never left you, and you will gather fresh strength to face each new dawn. I hear the cries of your heart when you wonder about your future, asking if there is truly a plan specifically tailored for you. Let me assure you, I have always had a design for your life, a path imbued with purpose and significance, despite the twists and turns that might obscure your view. Though you may sometimes wander, my guiding hand continually seeks to realign your steps, calling you back to safety and wholeness. Just as a shepherd knows every sheep by name, I know your every thought, desire, and fear, orchestrating circumstances for your good. So do not lose hope if you cannot see the entire roadmap right now. Trust that I am unveiling the journey one step at a time, and each step brings you closer to the fulfillment of my promises. I want you to be at peace with your imperfections, for I do not condemn you for them. I am the potter, and you are the clay, shaped by my hands through every season of life. The rough edges you wish away may be the very aspects that lead you to a deeper reliance on me, carving out space for my grace to shine more brightly. Think of the flaws in a piece of pottery that allow it to reveal character, making it one of a kind rather than a mass-produced copy. I do not ask you to pretend to be perfect. I ask you to be authentic, to acknowledge where you need my help, and to welcome my love as it tenderly refines you. In your authenticity, you showcase my power to transform and uplift a humble heart. I celebrate every time you forgive someone who has wronged you, each moment you release grudges, and let my mercy dissolve the bitterness that lingers in wounded places. Forgiveness can feel like a daunting act, especially when the scars are deep. Yet I remind you that my own forgiveness toward you is boundless, steadfast as the stars in the heavens. The cross stands as an everlasting emblem of sacrifice, revealing the lengths I go to restore relationships. Imitate that grace, and you will find your own burden lifts, freeing you to walk unencumbered by resentment. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but a profound testament to the strength of love and the resilience my spirit imparts within you. I see your reaction to life's daily battles, how you sometimes question your resilience when troubles arrive in rapid succession, like waves crashing upon a vulnerable shore. Yet do not forget that I have granted you an inner fire that no storm can extinguish. This resilience finds its foundation in my unchanging nature, for I am the rock on which you stand, unshaken by the chaos swirling around you. When you sense your courage waning, let the stories of faith in the Bible remind you that I have never abandoned those who call my name. Daniel faced lions, Shadrach faced flames, and Mary faced the uncertainty of bearing the Messiah. Yet in each circumstance, I proved my faithfulness. So lean on me unwaveringly, trusting that I will breathe renewed life into your weary spirit, guiding you to victory. I urge you to speak words of hope into your own life, to declare my promises rather than echoes of fear. The tongue has power to either uplift or tear down, and that includes the power to color your perspective on yourself and your circumstances. When you face a seemingly immovable mountain, proclaim that I am the one who moves mountains. When sorrow threatens your laughter, speak aloud that my joy is your strength. When confusion clouds your steps, claim that I am the lamp illuminating your path. By aligning your declarations with the truth of my word, you create an atmosphere of faith that invites my miraculous intervention. Do not underestimate how your spoken words shape your mindset and invite my presence in tangible ways. I gently remind you to care for the temple of your body, for you are not merely spirit or mind, but an intricately fashioned being encompassing body, soul, and spirit alike. Let me lead you to choose rest, nourishment, and balance, practices that honor the gift of life I have entrusted to you. When you prioritize wellness, you become better equipped to fulfill your calling, to share my love with vitality and joy. Scripture calls you a temple of the Holy Spirit, and I desire that this temple stands strong, shining my glory through your actions, speech, and healthy self-regard. Listen to the signals of fatigue and stress that your body sends, and respond with the wisdom I freely provide, knowing I delight in your well-being. I realize that navigating relationships can be challenging, be it with family members, friends, or colleagues who might misunderstand your intentions, differ in beliefs, or at times cause friction. However, do not forget that I have placed you in community for a greater purpose, to sharpen one another, to learn compassion, and to exhibit my grace in tangible daily acts. Even Jesus had to navigate tense relationships and misunderstood motives, but love was always his guiding principle. I encourage you to approach conflicts with patience, to speak truth enveloped in kindness, and to remain steadfast in forgiveness. As you do, you serve as a beacon of unity in a world often fractured by division, reflecting my reconciling heart in every interaction. I watch you as you navigate material needs, financial responsibilities, and the desire to provide for yourself and your loved ones. Understand that I am the one who multiplied loaves and fishes, who caused a widow's oil to overflow, and who still supplies in creative and unexpected ways today. Refrain from letting worry harden your heart or overshadow your trust in my provision. Present your financial concerns to me, and watch how I can open doors, connect you with resources, or spark innovative solutions in your mind. A grateful heart for the blessings you have already received paves the way for even greater abundance, ensuring that every bit you have is multiplied when surrendered to my care. I speak to the fear of failure that sometimes paralyzes you, reminding you that a misstep is not the end of your story, nor does it negate my love for you. Failure can be a stepping stone rather than a dead end, a way for you to learn humility, adapt your strategies, and lean more fully on my guidance. Reflect on Peter, who denied my Son 3 times yet later led many to the truth, or on Paul, once a persecutor who became a leading voice of the gospel. If I can redeem their shortcomings, I can certainly redeem yours. Shake off the weight of shame, keep walking forward, and watch as I transform your setbacks into testimonies of my redemptive power. I want you to remember my promise. I will never leave you nor forsake you. This pledge is not a mere phrase, but a covenant I have woven into the fabric of your existence. When you traverse valleys of confusion, stand at the edge of heartbreak, or find yourself in deserts of loneliness, cling to the knowledge that I stand with you, just as I stood with Moses before Pharaoh, or with Joshua on the brink of the promised land. Be strong and courageous, for the God who parted seas and toppled fortified walls is the same God who envelops you in unwavering love. A single whisper of my name can dissolve your distress as I respond swiftly to the cries of my beloved. I welcome your questions, your doubts, and even your frustrations, for genuine faith often grows stronger when tested by the fires of inquiry. I do not fear your search for answers, because I am the source of all truth, and my word has proven faithful across countless generations. Look at how Job questioned and wrestled with divine mysteries, ultimately emerging with a deeper revelation of who I am. If you feel unsettled about doctrinal matters or perplexed by the suffering around you, bring those concerns to me in prayer. Search the scriptures, consult wise counsel, and stay open to my Spirit's insights. I will illuminate the path toward understanding, even if some answers remain beyond the horizon of human logic, waiting for the day when you see face to face. I take immense joy in the moments when you choose to worship, lifting your voice or your heart in praise. Worship is not confined to songs in a sanctuary, but echoes in the daily acts of devotion, in your gratitude for a sunrise, your awe at the starry sky, or your decision to care for someone in need. As you turn your gaze upward, acknowledging my goodness and majesty, you become aligned with the harmony of heaven itself. Think of how angels perpetually sing my praises, and know that your earthly worship joins that eternal chorus, transcending time and space. Whenever you praise me from a genuine spirit, the very atmosphere around you shifts, opening a channel for blessings to flow more freely into your life. I see the hope that flickers within you, even when darkness looms large, and I urge you to protect that hope like a precious candle flame. Fear may try to blow it out, failures may attempt to smother it, and cynics might scoff at its existence, but hold on tight. The book of Hebrews calls hope an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. Cling to that anchor, for it tethers you to my unshakable truth, reminding you that storms cannot last forever, and that dawn eventually breaks after the darkest night. Nurture hope by feeding your mind with life-giving words, surrounding yourself with faith-filled individuals, and reflecting on all the ways I have delivered you in the past. Your tomorrow is worth anticipating, for I am already there, unfolding blessings designed just for you. I also call you to be a messenger of encouragement to those around you, for many hearts wander in shadows, yearning for a spark of compassion and a reminder that they are not forgotten. Your testimony, whether in the form of a friendly phone call, an uplifting note, or a simple prayer offered on someone's behalf, can usher my light into the hidden corners of despair. Think of how my apostles spread good news from city to city, igniting faith wherever they went. You hold the capacity to do the same in your sphere of influence, planting seeds of hope that might seem insignificant at first, but later bloom into transformations that surprise even you. Do not underestimate the ripple effect of a single encouraging word, empowered by my Spirit to touch countless lives. I encourage you to step out of your comfort zone in ways that stretch your faith, for growth rarely happens in complacency. Whether that means pursuing a new opportunity, reconciling an old conflict, or volunteering your time in unfamiliar territory, trust that I equip those whom I call. The prophet Isaiah once felt undone by his own inadequacies, yet I cleansed his lips and sent him forth as my spokesperson. Similarly, I will not send you into uncharted territory without also granting you the grace to succeed, or at least to learn valuable lessons that shape your character. Embrace the discomfort of the unknown, leaning on me every step of the way, and see how my power transforms your acts of obedience into testimonies of my greatness. I watch how you juggle responsibilities, perhaps caring for children or aging parents, managing a hectic job, striving to maintain friendships, all the while nourishing your own spirit. In this busy swirl, it's easy to lose sight of the sacredness in the present moment. Yet I call you to remember how my Son, even when pressed by large crowds, found value in one-on-one interactions, pausing to truly see and bless the individuals before him. Approach each conversation, each mundane task, each minute of your day with the awareness that I reside in you, guiding your hands and your words. Your presence can be a gift of my peace to those who encounter you. Slow down, breathe, and discover the divine woven into your daily routines. I empathize with the sorrow that weighs your heart when you feel misunderstood, criticized, or abandoned by those whose approval you treasure. But never forget that my Son, too, was rejected by many, even those who witnessed his miracles firsthand. His example shows you that external acceptance does not dictate your worth, nor does it reflect my view of you. While it stings to be cast aside or misunderstood, you can rest in the unchanging truth that I know you fully and love you unconditionally. Let me be your safe haven, the arms that hold you steady when human relationships falter. Through the trials of rejection, I can refine your heart, teaching you compassion, forgiveness, and the humility that blossoms into lasting empathy for others. I am your refuge when you face spiritual attacks, those insidious doubts that question whether my promises truly apply to you, the temptations that lure your heart away, and the discouragement that clouds your horizon. The scriptures speak of the whole armor of faith, the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of my word. Wear these with confidence, and know that you stand under my protective covering. Resist the whispers that say you are alone in this battle, for my angelic hosts encamp around you, and my Spirit fortifies your innermost being. In my strength, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment will be silenced. Cling to that assurance as you move through life, unafraid of the enemy's schemes. I look upon you with boundless delight when you serve others in humility, for in doing so you mirror my own heart. My kingdom thrives where service prevails over selfish ambition, where washing another's feet is a sublime act of love rather than a degrading chore. As my Son once knelt to cleanse the feet of his disciples, he exemplified that true greatness is found in lowly tasks performed out of genuine compassion. When you choose to set aside your own preferences to care for someone else, you spread a fragrance of my grace that touches hearts more deeply than words alone can. Embrace opportunities for service, not grudgingly, but with sincere joy, for as you give, so shall you receive, often in ways you least expect. I see the longing in your heart for belonging, the desire to be part of a loving community that acknowledges your gifts and embraces your flaws. You were never designed to traverse this life in isolation, for I placed you within the tapestry of humanity so that you might grow and flourish through relationships. Seek out gatherings of faith where my name is honored, and do not shy away from genuine fellowship with those who share your pursuit of my truth. Community, however imperfect, can be a cradle for mutual encouragement, accountability, and shared celebration. Though misunderstandings may arise, let love guide you to reconciliation. For by your unity, the world will know the depth of my love. I remind you to be gentle with yourself, for I created you with limitations that invite dependence on my limitless power. There will be times you find you simply cannot accomplish all that burdens your to-do list. And it is precisely in those moments that my grace shines. Rather than chastising yourself for perceived shortcomings, hand over your anxieties to me, trusting that my strength surfaces most vividly in your weakness. Look at Paul, who pleaded for relief from his thorn in the flesh, yet ultimately learned that my grace is sufficient, for power is perfected in weakness. Be humble, embrace your human constraints, and watch how my Spirit elevates your capability, magnifying your humble offerings into feats of divine wonder. I hold the blueprint of your dreams, those aspirations you have guarded since childhood, as well as the new desires that stir in your heart today. Do not think any dream is too big or too small for my concern. If it aligns with the good I wish to achieve through you, I will fan that spark into a brilliant flame. When you feel uncertain about which goals to chase, bring them before me and wait for the nudges of discernment. My Spirit guides you through an inner sense of peace or conviction, through wise counsel from trusted friends, or through the clarity you receive by meditating on my word. Lean on my wisdom, and I will open doors that astound you, confirming you are walking on the path I have prepared. I celebrate every instance you take a moment to appreciate beauty, be it the scent of fresh rain, the glow of a sunset, or the gentle laughter of a child. In these small yet precious experiences, you catch glimpses of my glory woven into creation. The psalmist once marveled that the heavens declare my majesty and the skies proclaim my craftsmanship. Let your heart echo that wonder, remembering that if I care for the lilies of the field, how much more do I care for you, my treasured creation? By marveling at these daily miracles, you nurture a spirit that is constantly reminded of my expansive love and creativity, lifting your thoughts above earthly worries into the realm of gratitude. I am profoundly aware of your desire for change in areas you've struggled with, habits you wish to break, emotional baggage you long to discard, or thought patterns that sabotage your confidence. Transformation is a journey, not an instant event, and my grace accompanies you at every step. As you pray for inner renewal, recall how caterpillars undergo a complete metamorphosis before emerging as butterflies. In the same way, I reshape your heart, your desires, and your behaviors over time, especially when you cooperate with me through spiritual disciplines like prayer, fasting, and studying my word. Each day you surrender to my will, you move closer to the glorious freedom I promised, a life defined by love, self-control, and unshakable faith. I long to wipe away any vestiges of condemnation you carry, especially those fostered by past mistakes or the harsh judgments of others. My Son's sacrifice on the cross was the ultimate testament to my desire for reconciliation, bridging the chasm between your imperfections and my holiness. Thus, if I have chosen to forgive, who can condemn? Embrace your identity as a redeemed child, no longer shackled by guilt or shame. Even if the world points an accusing finger, remember that I uphold you with my righteous hand. Walk in this freedom, unafraid of condemnation, aware that my loving kindness is greater than any wrongdoing you have ever committed. I encourage you to approach each new challenge with the confidence that I have equipped you to overcome. The scriptures proclaim that you can do all things through the strength I provide, meaning no obstacle is insurmountable when we work in partnership. This doesn't guarantee an easy road, but it does promise a triumphant one. Often your growth emerges not from comfort but from adversity, much like how a seed must break open underground before sprouting toward the sunlight. So, when you encounter trials, do not shrink back. Instead, commit yourself to perseverance, anchored by the knowledge that I am molding you into a masterpiece of resilience, courage, and grace. I take note of the way you react to injustice around you, how your heart stirs to help the oppressed, defend the helpless, or speak truth where lies prevail. This longing for righteousness mirrors my own. In the Old Testament, prophets railed against corruption not out of hatred, but out of love for my justice and my people's welfare. Carry that torch bravely, ensuring that your zeal for change remains rooted in compassion rather than anger. Seek my perspective on how best to advocate for what is right. Sometimes it involves direct action, other times it calls for prayer and strategic wisdom. Trust that as you stand for truth, you stand with me, and I bless the peacemakers, the justice bringers, the humble who desire a world reflecting my goodness. I want you to remain conscious of the words you allow to shape your identity, for negative labels can latch onto your heart like stubborn weeds, choking out confidence and faith. If others have called you unworthy, hopeless, or incompetent, take refuge in my word, which proclaims you are fearfully and wonderfully made, a royal priesthood, a people set apart for my glory. Reflect on how Jesus interacted with the least esteemed in society. He conferred dignity upon them. In my eyes, your value is irrevocable, established from the moment I breathed life into you. Accept no label that contradicts the identity I have already bestowed. Confess daily that you belong to me, and no disparaging voice can annul my claim over your life. I see that sometimes you go through the motions with a numb heart, especially when life's responsibilities overshadow the wonder of my presence. This spiritual dryness can be disconcerting, but let me assure you that the wellspring of my love has not run dry, even if you momentarily cease to draw from it. Consciously return to me. Participate in worship, soak in Scripture, break bread in fellowship with fellow believers, and let these practices rekindle the flame in your spirit. Faith thrives not on autopilot, but on intentional engagement, where you continually remind yourself that I am a living God, intimately involved in every aspect of your existence. Embrace daily moments of reflection, quiet enough to hear my whisper, revitalizing enough to set your heart aglow. I admire your perseverance when you pray, especially those persistent prayers that seem unanswered after weeks, months, or even years. Do not be discouraged by delays. My timing can appear mysterious, but it is never arbitrary. Sometimes your heart must be prepared to receive the blessing, or another person's freedom to choose must align with the answer you seek. Remember how Abraham waited many years for the fulfillment of my promise, eventually witnessing the birth of Isaac at an age that defied natural possibilities. I remain the same God of the improbable, weaving together details you cannot see. Keep praying, keep expecting, and trust that I am orchestrating a resolution that will astonish you with its divine craftsmanship. I remind you that your story does not exist in isolation. You are linked to countless others throughout history who have walked by faith, learned from their stumbles, and found victory in my arms. The cloud of witnesses mentioned in Hebrews stands as testament to the reality that faith is a lifelong journey, not a simple stroll. Lean on the wisdom of those who have gone before you, glean insights from their mistakes, and let their testimonies ignite your own passion for perseverance. Just as I have been faithful from generation to generation, so will I continue to be faithful to you, ensuring that the legacy of my goodness resonates well beyond your lifetime. I see your longing for harmony in a chaotic world, the heartbreak you feel when division and hatred overshadow unity and kindness. Yet, my child, do not lose heart, for the seeds of peace begin in each receptive soul that embraces my love. Whenever you respond to hostility with gentleness, whenever you bridge gaps through empathy, you mirror my reconciling heart. Jesus prayed for the oneness of all believers, that they might reflect the unity shared by the Father, Son, and Spirit. Let that prayer become your own guiding principle. Though full redemption is a process, each effort you make toward peace stands as a radiant testimony of my kingdom on earth. I assure you that no matter how many times you slip, no matter how many times you doubt or hesitate, my commitment to you never wanes. Think of Peter, who faltered on the water yet found my hand lifting him up, or Thomas, who wrestled with skepticism until he touched the wounds of my Son and believed. Their weaknesses did not exclude them from my plan. Instead, I redeemed those frailties to demonstrate my boundless grace. Your missteps, too, can serve as windows through which my mercy can shine. Indeed, I am the potter who fashions even the broken shards into a vessel more magnificent than before. Surrender your guilt, regrets, and hesitations, and watch how I transform them into stepping stones for deeper faith. I place before you many doors of opportunity, some that might at first glance appear daunting or ill-timed. I encourage you to pray for discernment, to gently knock and see which ones open, and to move forward if you sense my peace. Fear might tell you to stay put, content with the security of the familiar, but faith beckons you to explore the possibilities I have laid out. Reflect on the parable of the talents, where each servant was tasked with stewarding resources. Those who took a step of faith multiplied their blessings, while the one who buried his treasure acted in fear. Do not bury your gifts. Invest them with courage, knowing I stand behind you, ready to bless your faithful endeavors. I know how the demands of life can overshadow the truths you hold dear, that sometimes you get caught up in urgent tasks and fleeting concerns, momentarily forgetting your divine heritage. Yet, every so often, I gently tap on the door of your consciousness, reminding you that my realm endures beyond the swirl of to-do lists. Embrace pockets of time where you realign your priorities with my eternal perspective. In the quiet hush of the morning, in the shimmering twilight at day's end, or even in a simple walk outdoors, let your spirit reconnect with me. As you do, you'll find your stress melts into reassurance, your confusion clears into purpose, and your spirit resonates with the calm assurance that I have everything under my control. I marvel at your capacity for joy, the laughter that bubbles up from the depths of your heart when you allow yourself to delight in blessings and simple pleasures. Joy is not merely an emotion, but a spiritual posture that declares, "My goodness even when storms rage." Yes, tears will have their moments, but do not let sorrow define you. Joy is the fragrance of a soul that knows I am working all things together for good. Let childlike glee fill you when you notice my handiwork in creation or experience a random act of kindness. In those joyous exhalations, you align your heart with the truth that I remain enthroned above every worry. Smile, laugh, and remember that you belong to me, the giver of abundant life. I see how comparison can creep into your thoughts, tempting you to gauge your worth by someone else's achievements, relationships, or status. Resist the lie that your significance is determined by external metrics, for your true identity rests in the reality that you are mine, redeemed and cherished. Each soul's journey is unique, and I have etched a specific route for you that requires neither envy nor pride, but faith. Whenever you feel overshadowed by another's success, recall that I pour out distinct blessings tailored to each individual. Allow that knowledge to spark gratitude rather than competitiveness. Celebrate the good in others and trust that I have wondrous plans for you as well. I want you to remember that I see every sacrifice you make. Whether you are waking up earlier to pray, studying my word, supporting your family, volunteering in your community, or letting go of personal comforts to serve a greater good, I notice it all. Though others might not applaud or even be aware of these quiet acts, I store them like precious jewels in my memory. Each sacrifice, done in love, weaves threads of eternal significance into your life's tapestry. Even if fatigue sets in, trust that I will replenish your energy and multiply the outcome of your efforts. Do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time, you will reap a harvest of blessings. I also call you to be mindful of the words you speak to yourself. Too often, you might criticize yourself harshly or label your efforts as useless. But that is not how I see you. I see a vessel made of clay, yet filled with extraordinary treasure, capable of radiating my light in dark places. Let your self-talk mirror my affirmations rather than echo accusations of unworthiness. If I, your Creator, proclaim that you are beloved, forgiven, and entrusted with a calling, how can you deem yourself any less? Speak life into your own heart, just as I do, and watch how your outlook shifts from defeat to victory. I marvel at the resilience you've displayed thus far, how you have endured trials that once seemed insurmountable. Look back and see how far we've come together, how each storm eventually passed, leaving behind lessons and a stronger, more empathetic spirit. This track record of my faithfulness is your anchor, a reminder that I will not fail you in the storms yet to come. As you press onward, keep recounting my past interventions and find renewed courage in the knowledge that I remain the same, steadfast, immovable, and always on your side. The testimonies of yesterday are signposts leading you into tomorrow. I remind you that my love for you will never fade, no matter the storms you face or the mistakes you might make. I have loved you with an everlasting love, and this bond remains unbroken by time, circumstance, or even your moments of wavering faith. Take this truth with you into every valley, every season of uncertainty, and every dawn that greets you. Whatever you face, let these words echo in your heart. I bless you and your family. Walk forward in my peace, confident that I hold each step you take in my faithful hands. Look forward with confidence, because the very best is yet to come, and I will carry you through every challenge, revealing my grace